Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made one of these videos, and I'm glad to make one right now. We had a week-long break because of the All-Star weekend, so the Blazers did not play much during that time, and that's why I went ahead and just waited to put this video out about 2 weeks since the last one. So we played 7 games since that time, and I'm just going to go ahead and start right away. So we played 7 games since the last video, and I'm just going to be straight up. Last video I was hoping that would be in 5th place in the West. We are 3rd, which is insane. I knew the Blazers had potential to be this good one day, but I did not think it would come this soon, and I'm just proud to see them doing this. So we ended the last video beating the Warriors, and from there we still have not lost a game, which is fantastic, obviously, because we're on an 8-game winning streak. And that's just going to make it easier for the Blazers to stay in playoff contention in a really stacked Western Conference. And hopefully it'll be easier for us to end the season because we have some really tough teams coming up soon. So let's just get straight into the games that we played since the last video. First off, we played the Jazz. Of course, we won 100-81. And I'm just going to note here, Damian Lillard has been absolutely dominating. All Blazer fans recognize Damian Lillard and his talent, but not everybody across the NBA does, and Damian is trying to prove a point right now. He's actually scored the most points that any Blazer has ever had in a 10-game span, which is just obviously insane. He's still very young, and he's just breaking records left and right, so good job to Dame. And let's just get back to this game. So Dame scored 24 points, CJ had 2 more than him with 26, Yusuf with 15, and Al-Farouq with 12. So obviously everyone is stepping up pretty well. We had a good game at Utah. And on Utah's side, they had a very talented Donovan Mitchell score 21. And that was about it. Rudy Gobert had 15, Joe Ingles with 12. So obviously the Jazz probably need some more scoring. It was kind of tough for them to handle the Blazers at this time because the Blazers were just red hot, obviously coming off a Warriors win. And I think the Jazz were on a winning streak of their own at this time because they beat us just 2 games before this one. So good job to the Blazers for turning the tide and ending a winning streak just like that by 19 points. So after that game, we played a much worse team, the Phoenix Suns, but surprisingly this game was actually closer. We had Damian score 40. Obviously he's just going off, so you could see this happening almost like every other week. It's crazy. And then we also had CJ following up right behind him with 21, Yusuf with 14, and everyone else just contributed a little bit here and there. On the Suns side, there's Devin Booker with 30 points. He almost got a double-double with 9 rebounds. TJ Warren had 19, and Elfrid Payton had 13, but other than that, nothing else really worked for them. I really do feel bad for Devin Booker because he's playing on a pretty bad team, and he has a lot of talent, obviously. I think he still has a lot of potential. I think the Suns might be able to get another good draft pick this year, and maybe they can build around Devin, but we'll see how that works for them. But yeah, we barely edged out a win against the Suns in this game, but a win is a win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So we're just going to move on to the next game against the Sacramento Kings, where we won once again 116-99, a bit more of a blowout, which is good to see. And in this game, the scoring was very even on our side. We had Dame score 26, Shabazz with 20 off the bench, Yusuf Nurkic with 17, Al-Farouq with 13, CJ with 11, Mo Harkless with 10. So obviously everyone was scoring well. We had 6 players with double digits. That's fantastic. And that obviously helped us beat a pretty bad team. And I'm looking at the Kings side. They had some pretty good scoring on their side as well. Zach Randolph had 20, Willie Cauley-Stein with 17, Vince Carter with 10 off the bench, Bogdan Bogdanovic with 14, De'Aaron Fox with 13. I like Fox a lot. Quick little guard, but he has a pretty similar situation to Devin Booker. He's just in a bad place right now, and I think he just needs to get out, obviously. So yeah, we beat another bad team, obviously, and going right past that, we're going to go to the game we played against the Timberwolves at home. And the Timberwolves were obviously a great team at this time. They had a 38-27 record, which is just barely better than our 36-26 record. But obviously they suffered the injury of Jimmy Butler at this time, so that really hurt them because he was their leading scorer. And that's why we were able to get the win, I believe. So in this game, Damian once again dominated with 35, and then CJ followed him up with 19, Yusuf with 16, Mo Harkless with 10. And we had 2 bench players, Shabazz and Ed Davis, both got double digits. That's fantastic to see. We have everyone stepping up right now, and they're playing pretty consistently. And I think that's why we're on a good winning streak right now. And looking at the Timberwolves side of the ball, Karl Anthony Towns scored 34, Andrew Wiggins had 21, Jeff Teague 13, Jamal Crawford 10. So they had players stepping up pretty well in this game, and that's probably why the game was so high scoring. But unfortunately for them, they still lost because Damian's 35 really carried us, while everyone else was just performing really well. And after this game, we were able to prove that we could beat good teams and bad teams combined, not only the bad teams, obviously. And then that takes us to the next game against the Thunder, another great team, obviously. At this time, they were just barely worse than us with 1 more loss. That was it, though. We both had 37 wins. And the score of this game was 108-100. Blazers obviously took the win in this one. Damian had a pretty light game. He had 20 points. CJ had 28, though. He really shined in this game. Fantastic to see him carrying the load whenever necessary. Evan Turner at 17. Zach Collins, the young player, had 12. I actually met Zach Collins once in real life. He's a cool guy. So it's good to see him performing pretty well. He's developing into a good player, and I'm proud to see that happening. And now looking at the Thunder side, they had some pretty good numbers. Russell Westbrook had 30, Steven Adams with 12, Paul George with 21, Patrick Patterson with 12, Jeremy Grant off the bench with 13. So obviously they're playing pretty well, but obviously they were missing Carmelo Anthony due to injury, and that hurt them a lot because he's one of their centerpieces. And they've been missing Andre Roberson for a long time too, and I think that's why they're falling off in the Western Conference right now. But I think next year they'll have a lot of potential, but this year I don't think they'll be in the title contention at all. So moving on, we're going to go ahead and see how the Blazers did against the Lakers. In this game, we won 108 to 103, and we had Damian score 39, almost 40 again. He's just insane. I don't know how he's playing so well right now. He's not even human. It's crazy. CJ had 22, Yusuf with 16. And then everyone else had single digits, but that didn't even matter because obviously Dame carried the load. Now looking at the Lakers side, Julius Randle had 21, Lonzo had 10, Isaiah Thomas 19 off the bench, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was 16, Brook Lopez was 14, Kuzma had 11, so everyone was scoring pretty well for them. 6 players with double digits, but I guess they couldn't outnumber Dame's 39, and they just couldn't take the W against us. So obviously Damian carried us once again. If it weren't for Dame, we would not be third in the West. We would not even be close to that. We might not even be in playoff contention. I think it can be compared to when LeBron left Cleveland back in 2011, I think. Cleveland just became terrible after they were a playoff team. And that's something that'll happen if Dame ever decides to leave. So I'm glad that Damian's on the team. And he seems like a really loyal player. He doesn't want to leave, it seems like. And I'm just glad to have someone like him on the team. So it's good to see the Blazers beat the Lakers. Even though they are a relatively bad team, they were on a 5-game winning streak at this point. And I was a little scared that the Blazers might lose. But Damian really did come clutch in this game. I'm going to try and throw up some highlights here. But he made 4 threes in the clutch. We also had Shabazz hit someone with a really nice ankle breaker as well. So, I mean, I was really glad to see these performances. The fact that Shabazz is breaking ankles is just amazing to me because he did not seem like such a good player before, but he's become a really good asset for the Blazers off the bench. And obviously, Dame's been Dame for his whole career. He scored 4 threes in a row, which is just insane. You can compare that to Tracy McGrady scoring 13 in 36 seconds, I think. But Dame did it in like a minute and a half, which is still very impressive, obviously. And I'm just glad to have him on the team, like I said earlier. So going off of that game, we're going to go ahead and end this video on the game we played against the New York Knicks at home. And in this game, we easily blew them out, 111 to 87. Although the Knicks are a pretty bad team, Damian did not care, and he just went ahead and went off with 37 points. CJ had 19, Yusuf with 11, Shabazz with 12 off the bench. I mean, Shabazz is a fantastic player to have coming off the bench for us. He could probably be a starter in some cities with these numbers he's getting up here recently. So I'm glad to have him on the team. And then looking at the Knicks side, I can probably see why they lost. They only had 3 players with double figures, and aside from that, everyone else played pretty badly. And those 3 players that had double digits were Tim Hardaway Jr. with 19, Enes Kanter with 18, and Michael Beasley with 16. So the Knicks are a really bad team with a 24-41 record, and the fact that they had to play a hot Blazers team at this time, who were on a 7-game winning streak, just really hurt them because they just had about no chance in this game. And the Blazers went ahead and made the record 39-26 off of this game, of course going on an 8-game winning streak. And I'm just so happy to see the Blazers playing this well because just last video, I was really hoping for the Blazers to be 5th in the West, but now they're 3rd. They jumped up so many spots. They've been grinding really hard. I did not expect this to happen so quickly. And I'm just so glad to see it happen like this. I know it's going to be tough for the Blazers to stay 3rd in the West with all this competition. But, I mean, Damian has just been carrying, and I don't see that ever stopping anytime soon. So hopefully that he can keep that going for us, and he can just carry the load. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to try and get another one of these videos out soon. And I hope you did enjoy. Thank you, and have a great day. She numbing me, that tongue on me. Honestly, she fuck with me, a wife to be. In Italy, bought her a fur, look like the wildebeest. Just chill with me, shit is no worry, it is a bill to me. It ain't nothing. I pull up Diablo, I pull up with models, I gave her first Philippe. We going for throttle, she swallowed the bottle, I'm all on her over.